Hi, my name is Jeff. Welcome to the channel. If you've been here before, then welcome back. Today, I want to talk with you about sports and investing in stocks and how both of these things have something in common, and if you're not aware of it, it can destroy you as an investor. Now, this whole idea of linking sports to investing came up a couple days ago because I was out shooting some hoops with some friends. And it'd been a while since I've actually held a basketball and taken some shots. I got a few of them in. There were some other shots planking off the rim, air balls, and it just reminded me about investing in stocks. There's a certain kind of adrenaline and excitement when you're investing, picking stocks, committing money into the market. And I think that kind of adrenaline, endorphins, dopamine, good feelings are also a part of playing a sport well, especially in competition. The thing about sports is, there's a winner, there's a loser in any game. Playing and competing makes you happy. You get some sunshine. It's like good for your body, good for your mind, good for your spirit. And that's the whole point of sports. But investing, the point of it is not so much to have fun when you're doing it or to be excited. In fact, one could argue the point is just to make money, and the emotions and the excitement that go along with stock investing can actually destroy you. They can ruin you if you let your emotions take control of the way you make decisions. The reason I think it's important is that just like in sports where you have a competitor, somebody like when you're playing basketball and you're shooting, there's someone trying to block your shot, or there's someone trying to steal the ball from you. So while you're trying to get your goal, somebody is trying to beat you to it. Someone's trying to score more points than you. But you forget about this when you're buying or selling a stock or an index fund or an ETF. Whenever you make a decision to buy something, there's someone else on the other side of that transaction who's decided that it makes sense to sell it. So you're competing, only you're competing against an invisible opponent. The thing that I think we forget is you think that it's going to be easy to beat this opponent, because a lot of times we feel this kind of confidence. We feel like, oh, I know this is the right trade. You just get real excited. The stock is bound to reverse or go up, or this happened and this happened in your mind. So of course you're going to win. And I think the reality of sports is you learn pretty quickly when you're the best competitor in a game. It doesn't matter whether you're playing basketball or up at bat to hit a baseball or playing tennis, you figure out pretty quickly who your competition is. With investing in stocks, you don't know who's on the other side of that trade, and you're competing against other investors, retail investors, mutual fund managers, hedge funds. You're competing against all kind of institutional investors. It could even be an algorithm, a mathematical program that's just running by a certain number of rules and it's trading against you. You really never know who the competition is when you're trading, but for any trade, there's gonna be a winner and there's gonna be a loser. And I just think this is a fascinating analogy with sports. By the way, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also hit the subscribe button. Now, there's a saying in the British Royal Air Force: there are old pilots and there are bold pilots, but there are no old, bold pilots. You can either be old and boring, or you can be real excitement driven and go as fast and as carelessly and recklessly as you want. But you're not going to get to be an old pilot if you do crazy stuff and make stupid mistakes. And this is also the reason why they run this Indy 500 race here in the United States. And it's 500 laps around this track at breakneck speeds. I mean, these cars are really powerful. They're going super fast. And in order to win the Indy 500, you have to finish the Indy 500. And there are lots of cars that smash, crash, go up in flames in that race and never finish the race. So I think it's important to think about investing in a similar way. All you need is one or two big mistakes in your investing career, and you can lose a huge amount of money that can really set you back and keep you off of your plan of finishing this race. I want to tell you, I played tennis last week with a new opponent. He's actually a friend in my neighborhood, and he turns out to be really good, and we decided to play a set together. And there were a few times when I was serving where I was playing behind. So you can be 1 point from losing the game. It's called add out when you're serving. And you get 2 serves, and if you screw them both up, you are out. You lose the game. So there's a lot of pressure on your serve. And what's funny, I practice serves a lot, but it's real easy to practice when there's no pressure and it's just you and a whole bunch of tennis balls, and you can just go out there and serve over and over, and there's no penalty for making any mistake. You hit the ball out, there's always another. I have a hopper filled with like 50 tennis balls. But when it's a game and you're keeping score, it's a whole different thing. And I remember feeling that kind of pressure at that moment. Fortunately, I went for it and I chose my spot and I hit it down the tee and was able to win that point and bring it back to deuce. And we, continued playing. But what was really, I think, powerful for me to kind of consider was this is fun, and there are no do-overs in sport, but regardless of what happens, you've just played tennis, something that you love to do. It's a game with somebody else, and we got just very a great workout. You've hit some great shots, you've hit some nice serves, your opponent's done the same, and when it's over, you're like, this was awesome, we should play again. But investing's real different, I feel, and if you're not aware of the penalties of screwing up early on, then you're more likely to be reckless or careless with your investing and make some serious mistakes. Now, I want to tell you, I almost made a really big mistake within the last year, and it was one of those things that was emotion driven, and I came about this close to really screwing up. About half of my investments are in value type of stocks. Some of them are international value, and some of them are global value stocks. Kind of boring. They're not high growth. They're not stocks that typically go up 30, 40, 50, 60% a year like some of the hot tech stocks. And I had noticed over the last several years that a lot of these stocks went nowhere. And then I looked at companies like, Alphabet, Amazon, Tesla, Microsoft, Nvidia, Adobe, you name it. And these stocks had just been going up and up and up. And I thought, why am I invested in these boring value, these cheap stocks that were companies that were kind of unloved because nobody wanted to buy slow growing, dependable stuff when you could buy exciting growth tech stocks. So I came pretty close to selling these mutual funds that I've owned for years just because they were boring and I thought there was something more exciting that would grow faster over here. And fortunately, I didn't touch them. At the end of 2021 and now throughout 2022 so far, these funds have done really well compared to the S&P 500, compared to most all of these growth and tech stocks. And so my emotions almost led me to make the worst possible decision at the worst time. Kind of like being a pilot of a plane and making a stupid decision that makes this plane crash, or driving in the Indy 500 and making a sudden movement going up in a ball of flames. In sports and in investing, acting at the wrong time and doing a stupid thing can really screw you up and set you back. So that's the take-home message. In sports, the kind of excitement and energy and inspiration that can cause us to excel at a game, to really go for it, go for the hard serve, go for the long shot from outside or for the dunk, those same emotions, when you feel them as an investor, can make you do the wrong thing at exactly the wrong time. So I think it's really important, whatever you're doing in sports, to keep that separate and realize that's something that you do for excitement, for exercise, and for fun. But with investing, if it's too exciting, if you're doing things for the sake of feeling energized or that kind of thrill of adrenaline, most likely you're making the wrong choice and you're making a bad decision at the worst possible time. Hope this info has been useful to you. I'm really interested to hear what you think about it. Please put any comments you have, any ideas, any thoughts, or any experiences you've had if you can relate to any of the stuff I've talked about. Please put it in the comment section below. If you haven't yet liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. That way it'll tell the YouTube algorithm and then they'll let other people know about this video. If you haven't yet subscribed, please hit the little subscribe button and the notification bell, and then you'll get a heads up whenever I make a new video. I'm so glad you stopped by, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.